Hey friend, it's me Vasco with a quick announcement. We at the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast are organizing this year's Scrum Master Summit. For tickets and details on the summit, check out the URL bit.ly/SM Summit 22. All one word, SMSUMMIT 22. And now, on to the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to one more week of the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast. And this week, joining us from the US is Pratik Dahule. Did I pronounce your name correctly, Pratik? Welcome to the show.
Absolutely, Vasco. Thank you. Thanks for inviting.
So Pratik is an Agile project manager and Agile enthusiast working in the US. He leads teams and creates a culture of lifelong learning, constant collaboration, and continuous improvement. Pratik has more than 12 years of experience. If you're listening to this somewhere in the future, he will already by that time have a lot more, of course, and is passionate about helping teams in their agile transformation. Outside of work, he has a blogging site, classactlifestyle.com. I'll put the link in the show notes, where he shares insights on books and exotic places to travel. Pratik, that was a short intro. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and how did you end up becoming a Scrum Master?
Oh, that's good. Thank you so much, Vasco, and thanks for creating a huge value towards the Scrum world. Once again, folks, my name is Pratik Dahule. I'm currently residing in Connecticut, USA. And actually, to take you back to my background of how I became a Scrum Master, I heard of Scrum when I was in my college time, and I was working in a biotech firm, and we were pretty much involved with the Lean Six Sigma and the Kaizen culture. And during back those days, all thing was like, okay, how can we make it more lean? How can we eliminate the waste, make it more finer, the process improvement? How can we make it more safer environment for abiding by the OSHA guidelines? So all those things were in the corporation, and I ended up doing the Lean Six Sigma certification. And during that process and the certificate, doing the certification and conferences and seminar, I heard this buzzword called Scrum. And I started taking interest in it, learning more about it. And that got into a self curiosity of understanding. And we heard in the articles and the seminars that how it was changing the software industry, how it was changing the dynamics of the way we work together and bring the best. So that helped me. And then I got a job where they were looking for a similar portfolio, like someone with my expertise in engineering, as well as someone who knows the background is Scrum and Lean Six Sigma. Like everything worked out, and I got a job, and I started there as a project engineer, come business analyst, and they promoted me to Scrum Master because I was able to replicate those things what Scrum Master usually do in the job, and that's how I ended up being at the right time at the right place, and got me a title called Scrum Master. So that's how I started my career there.
Absolutely. And you said something there that is very important, right? Being able to do the things that Scrum Masters do. And we'll talk a lot about that during this week, of course. And let's start right away with the things Scrum Masters shouldn't do, but we all do anyway, because nobody's perfect and we are always learning. Of course, today's Fail Monday here on the podcast. And we want to hear a story of a moment where you, Pratik, you did your best. But at that time, there was a learning journey ahead, and the best just wasn't good enough. And that's okay, because we learn from that, and we become better at what we do as Scrum Master. So tell us that story, Pratik. Start from the beginning, walk us through the steps, what was happening, what conversations were going on. Tell us the whole story.
Absolutely, Vasco. So I'll continue with my journey. I became Scrum Master in that same organization, and this was my first job as a Scrum Master. By all definition, we know Scrum Master should be the person who must influence the team and without being authoritative, right? The old project management style was okay, you have to get the work done, being an authoritative. But with the Scrum, it was a little bit different. You have to influence people without being an authoritative. You must be able to facilitate the session, must be able to listen to people and bring the participation from the group so that they can get to the solution they want to. In my case, I think I was completely doing the opposite because I was following the book, what I learned. I was a newbie in the Scrum town, trying to understand the coaching assistance and like I was trying to provide solution and go by the book. So to give an example, I was in the stand-ups. I used to give direct feedback, telling team that, hey, we should do this thing, or we should do this question. Why, if someone is not asking those three main questions in the stand-up, like what they did, how, what is something stopping them from moving ahead, what they are going to work on today. So these questions were not answered. I used to think like, okay, the stand-up is not done. And if it's not completing in 15 minutes, I was thinking like, okay, it is not going in the way where we wanted. So I was like kind of interrupting between a lot, kind of advising a lot.
So one of the things that I want to explore a little bit more is the state of mind you had at that time, because what you describe is something that many of us have done. In fact, perhaps many of us still fall back into that. I mean, I used to be a project manager before I was a Scrum Master, and I can totally see the desire to intervene, tell people what to do, to get things unblocked by telling people how to get them unblocked, and so on and so forth. Those are very natural reflexes, perhaps even for people that have some background in project management and execution. What was your mindset at the time? Like, what were the things that were now you know, but at the time probably not. What were the things that were kind of implicitly pushing you towards that direction?
Actually, I was so much used to providing answers, right? If someone asks you a question, you are like so much instinctive to answer their question immediately. And even though they are asking for an opinion, or so, you will provide a solution to their problem, right? And which is so much against the hat I was wearing at that time. And and that has led to obligation where team was so much dependent on me that they need to check with me before finalizing the solution. So because I came from that lean background and we were implementing the if you have heard about Mura and Muri technique. So they are like, okay, this guy know about it. So why can't we directly go and get the solution from him? And we were implementing a data management solution at that time. So why can't we just go to Pratik and ask the detail completely? Yeah, that's great. If I can share my experiences from the context where I was working. But the context in my earlier projects and the project which I was in the new organization was different. So instead of me giving them a direct feedback and the solution, it would have been great if I would have been helping them to get to that solution faster, right?
But okay, so but that's kind of where you are now, right? Like you have the benefit of experience and of course having failed. And when you look at that today, you think, okay, now what I need to do is to help them find the solution, not give them the solution. Okay, that's great, but obviously not everybody's there. Many of us are still in the first part of your story and want to get out. But we need the tools, right? Like, what are the questions? What are the things that you have in your mind that are triggers to move more towards helping the team find the solution instead of giving the solution? How do you do that today?
It took me a while to get out that zone. Okay. And I did not understand it till the bridges were burned because we saw people getting uh, like bored with that process, people getting not enjoying the process. They were like, okay, getting into that mundane process of, okay, answering this question and let it go, let's finish it off, like those kind of things. And for me to get that, I literally, I'm telling you frankly, that I had to take help from my transformation coach. At that time we never used to call agile coach there, it was used to be called as a transformation coach. And then that person helped me to understand, see, you have to bring out the best from the people, start reading some of the good book. And he recommended me the book called The Essential Scrum Guide by Kenneth Rubin. And that has changed my logical thought process, okay, and how to approach the situation, right? It was more scenario based book, case study based book. And it has helped me to, okay, understand how we can share the experiences with them. But that does not mean that whatever the experiences you're sharing is a definite solution for that person. And then trying to be a coach, how to become a coach and kind of understand the pattern, like getting into coaching agreement, do one-on-one sessions with them so that they are not depending, and at the same time they are not working in silos, and empathize with them so that they can. And one of the most important skill I learned at that time was to actively listen rather than talk. So actively listening and empathize with the team and encourage the coaching or the team members to do that. And by asking lots of powerful questions, I was able to get out of the zone.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just said one thing that many of us should keep front and center in the way we interact with the teams. You said asking powerful questions. And one of the things that comes to my mind is that as a Scrum Master, we need to learn to think in questions, not affirmations or orders. And that's a very difficult transformation, a personal transformation that we have to go through if we want to help our teams. That was a great reminder. Thank you for sharing that, Pratik.
Thank you so much, Vasco.
Hey friends, it's Vasco again, now with a bit longer announcement. I'm part of the team that is behind the Global Scrum Master Summit, the conference dedicated to the Scrum Master role. If you're a Scrum Master, the Scrum Master Summit is a place to learn, to share, and of course to meet new friends. We will have lots of live sessions where you can meet and network with other Scrum Masters from the whole globe. So make sure you check it at bit.ly/SM Summit 22. We have several amazing keynotes and 7 tracks that feature people like you and of course thought leaders sharing their insights, their knowledge, and helping you become an awesome Scrum Master. You can check out all of the details of the summit, including the keynotes announced, the track chairs, and much more at bit.ly/SM Summit 22. That's all one word. That's bit.ly/SM SUMMIT and the numeral 22. I'll see you on the conference floor.